I would first like to thank Sunil and the entire organizing team for how well they have treated me and how well they have been, their hospitality has been really amazing. I really thank them for that. And I really want to thank Sunil from the bottom of my heart because this was a good event to attend and it was a great networking opportunity. Also, it was a good learning experience for me. So I thank him for that. My name is Jace George. Oh, there is a small thing that has to be corrected from the introduction that Sunil has given for me. I run 2 companies, not 3. I used to run 3 companies, so Sunil is not exactly wrong there, but right now I dissolved one of them and right now I run 2 companies, so that is the correction that has to be made. Rest, everything that Sunil has done, the introduction Sunil has given, I don't think I can top that, so I'm not getting into that. So thank you Sunil for the awesome introduction also, and thank everyone who's listening to me right now. The entire audience, you are a great audience, and it's from the bottom of my heart I'm filled with gratitude for getting this opportunity to speak to such a great audience. So we have listened to different talks from the morning, and such amazing words have been shared with us that I don't know how I can top it, but the topic that has been given to me, or the responsibility that has been given to me, is to get everyone on their goal. That is, get everyone ready, or let them find what they deserve from life and what they have to create in life. And so I'm going to name it Design the Life You Deserve. It is not find the life, it is design the life you deserve. So as a designer, as any designer would do, you are going to design the perfect life, and I will help you find the right things that is going to give you fulfillment in your life. This is a bold claim to make, I know, but I am going to do it. There is an exercise that we are going to do towards the end of the talk, but first I need to get you in the understanding of what we are trying to do. The gravity of the situation is really high. You have to understand this is a big thing to do. I am trying to sort out every aspect of your life. Everything, every aspect of your life has to be sorted out. You have to understand what you want from every aspect of your life, and you are going to design the life that is going to be a fulfilling life in every aspect. We know that this is something hard to do. Many people, they have lived their entire life and yet they don't know what they want from life, or they are not fulfilled. This is a hard thing to do, I know, but let's get into it. So first thing we have to understand is, what are you capable of? What are you capable of is a very broad question, because if you look at your biology or your genetics, there are 2 different answers immediately. Biologically, you are similar to any great man, be it let's think of Gandhiji or anyone, Martin Luther King. Any great person, biologically they are almost similar to you. There is no difference. Genetically, of course, there is hereditary things that you might have inherited or not inherited, and many people think that those are limits. The thing that you have to understand is there is no difference between you or any person who you aspire to be, who the greats who you look up to. There is no difference. The difference is determination, the sheer will, and how well they execute what they want from life. That is a differentiator. But other than that, the capability, the thing that you want to do, the capability is already there. You just have to find it. How many of you like biking? By a show of hands, can Okay, so I think you all will love this story because this is something that will relate to you. So I do bike as a hobby. I used to do that. Now I'm not getting as much time, but this was something I used to do a lot. And as biking, I what I used to do was I wanted to drive. This was my dream. I wanted to drive from Mumbai all the way till Kerala. That is a distance of 1800 kilometers is the distance. I was going to do this on a proper sports bike. This is a proper sports bike. I don't want to name the brands or anything, but it's a proper sports bike, a race bike position. So it's not going to be good on your back. It's a seemingly impossible task because you can drive this thing for short bursts. 250 kilometers I've done, but till then I had never taken it to such a distance. So this was something I wanted to do. So one day, out of the blue, I made preparations for this and I just took the chance. I wanted to do this. At that time, 20 of my friends, they were actually doing a South India trip. Most of them were superbikes like mine, and they were doing about 600cc and above. So they were doing a South India trip, but they would be diverting from me from a place called Kolhapur. Just after Kolhapur, there is a bypass. They would be going to a different way, and that was the plan. These people were going to come with me. This is the biggest mistake that I made. First thing is I had set a goal that I was going to do this entire trip in 2 days. I had it set in my mind that this trip was going to be done in 2 days. That's it. The problem is such a large trip, doing it in 2 days, it was insane, especially with a bike of this class. If you would have done it on a cruiser or a Harley, that is possible. It's much more easier. Because I had these 20 people drive at different paces. So it was a difficult thing for me to keep them in the loop, and the pace that I was trying to set was not an aim for them. They just wanted to reach some place. They didn't have any specific goals, and they didn't have to reach as long as me. So this was the problem. So I started driving early in the morning. We took off at around 5 a.m. The entire group started from Bombay, and we reached Pune at around 6 a.m. that kind of time. In Pune there was heavy fog, and it was very hard to cross it. All of these things, and because we were stopping so many times, because so many bikes are there and different fueling, all of these kind of problems were there. This was costing me time. Even by afternoon, I had only reached about Kolhapur, just near to that, around 450 kilometers were covered. At that time, one of the guys had an accident. So then I rushed this guy to the hospital. We all did, not just me. We all rushed this guy to the hospital in Kolhapur and informed his relatives. They were on the way to Kolhapur to assist him. All of the other bikers, they decided that they are going to stop there at that time. They decided that they are going to stop. But I was literally, I had my goal in my mind. So I decided that I am going to go till Davangere. That was my plan. I wanted to reach Davangere. This is just near Bangalore. So that is where I wanted to reach, and I am going to do that. I'm going to reach it by tonight at any cost. By the time I joined the highway again, it was already 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. I had a distance to cover is nearly 650 kilometers. I got obsessed with this thing, and I started driving at 150, 160 average. Like I was blazing past the speed limit, and this is something stupid to do, but I did it. I was obsessed at that time. So this is something that I want to tell you. The reason I want to bring this story up is because I did reach Davangere. From 4 p.m. till 8:30, I drove like a maniac and I reached this place. So you can imagine how harsh or how rough my driving has to be to reach this place. There was no traffic, thankfully, but I did do this. Thinking back at it, I think it's a stupid thing to do, but I did it. I was young at that time, younger at that time, so I was obsessed with this goal and I did it. This is something I never thought I would do, I would be able to do. My capability and what I can execute is not understood to me. It only shows itself when I put myself to a goal. That is what I want to tell you. That is what I want to explain to you with this story. And we'll come back to the story in different parts. But this is the gist of the story, and this is what I want to tell you. Your capability is, first thing is you don't understand it. Second thing is you will only see what you're capable of when you start pushing yourself. Number 2, you have to find your limits. When I said you have to find your limits, when you push yourself, you will find your limits. There are certain limits that you are going to find. You will say that, oh, this is my limit. Now, I'll tell you what happened during this drive from Kolhapur to Davangere in evening. Because I was doing such high speeds and because it was tiring on a mental level, by 6:30 I had been totally exhausted. Because of the entire day events, I was totally exhausted. The governor inside me, the mind governor in me, said that, oh no, you are not going to do one more kilometer on this bike, just ship the bike away. You know, like I got into a mental fight with myself. My mind was saying, why are you doing this? The first thing it asked me is, why are you doing this? Or who are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to beat? I wanted to do this. This was my obsession. This was my goal. But I was battling a mind battle between me and myself. This will happen to you. This will happen to you when you start pushing yourself, when you find your limits. Number 3, surpass the found limits. What I did at that time, at around 6:30, because I was totally exhausted, I actually lied down on a grass patch near a petrol pump. I filled the bike with petrol, and I actually was lying down for 5 to 10 minutes. All of this, you can see some photos I'm actually putting on the slides here, so you will be able to see that. So anyways, coming back to it, I took a break, like 10-minute break, and then I decided that no, I have decided to do this. I'm going to do it. No matter what, I'm going to sort this out. I am going to achieve it. So even though I had found my limit at that time, I decided to surpass the limits. After that, again, I started driving at the same pace. Average was around 150, that kind of speeds, and I did it. And thankfully that day I didn't have any traffic, not much traffic, so I could maneuver through this. You know how weird Indian roads can be, anything can happen, and this was a risky thing to do. But I look back at this entire event and I remember that I can do so much more than what I think about myself. And that's what I want you to take away from this story as well. You don't know what you're capable of, so you have to find that out. Whatever you think is your capability, you can do so much more than that. Second thing is find your limits. third is surpass those found limits. You are going to surpass these found limits because they are only about 70% or 80% of what you can do. Once you push those limits, you can do so much more. There is so much more you can do, and after that you might still find a limit, but then you can push further. This is not like a car or a petrol situation. In your car, when it reaches empty, you will still have a certain amount of miles. Even when the needle shows empty, you can still push it. That's exactly what is happening here. But I'm telling you that there is no emptiness. You can actually push further and further and further. You might eventually you might burn out. You might actually burn out and you will have to take a rest. But there is no limit to how far you can push. So now let's go further into this. So I've told you 3 points right now. The fourth point is take control. Taking control of yourself, your life, and stepping into the driver's seat. This is the number one problem which I've seen people do. This is the number one problem why we don't have achievers, why we don't have people who are achieving more from their life. Most of the people are just following through life, just taking life as it goes by, and life is taking control of them. Circumstance has control over them. They don't know what they want from life. They don't know what direction they are going in, why they are doing the things that they are doing. Most of the people, and I'm saying like 90% of the people, don't know what they're doing. You ask so many people, why did you do your engineering? Oh, everyone was doing the engineering. They won't say it out loud, but the actual understanding is because everyone was doing engineering, I did engineering. Or because my parents said that engineering will give me a good job, I did it. It was not because of a passion. It was not because they had chosen it. It was because of some external factor that they are doing it. Similarly, many people are in the job that they are in because they want the salary or whatever. The external factor is there. It is life taking control of them, the circumstances taking control of them, and they are not in the driver's seat. You have to start taking control of your life. If you want to do something, if you want to design the life you deserve, if you want to achieve the life that you want, if you want to be truly fulfilled, you have to start taking control. Step into the driver's seat. Don't let life take you along for the journey. You should do whatever you're doing because you decided it, not because some external circumstance is pushing you to it. Many people say that only rich people have these kind of options, poor people don't. I can show you so many, and you can come up with so many examples of poor people who have broken through this. They have taken control of their life, and even though they are poor, they are entrepreneurs. They have become so much powerful. They have done so good with their life. They have done great things with their life. That is because they have taken control of their life. So step number 4, take control of your life and step into the driver's seat of your life. You are in control of your life. Step number 5, be strict with yourself. This is a place where most of us, including me, I am still learning this. I was better than what I was 5 years ago. I was better than what I was yesterday. But this is a point where you have to keep on pushing yourself. If you are not strict with yourself, what is going to happen is your will take over your mind. I'll explain to you what happens with this. Suppose, think of an example of working out. Just because you have a goal of working out, but still you will slack, waking up early in the morning, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, you might feel a reluctance to get out of bed. You might not be able to spend as much time as you want on your workout. all of these things is life. You're having a problem of discipline with yourself. This happens to everybody. Now this, you might be good at working out, but certain tasks it might be hard for you. You have to be strict with yourself. What I do is think about it in this way is, I think there is a camera on me always, like 24/7 there is a camera on me. So if I'm doing something, and the only time I don't think that there's a camera on me is when I'm in bed, but the rest of the time, this is how I am aware of my posture, with the way I'm sitting. This is how I get aware of how good I'm doing, how good of a time I'm spending on a certain task. I'm not slacking on any task because I think that there is a person watching me. There is a camera on me and so many people are watching me. So if I do something, that will be broadcast, and I keep myself in that kind of mentality. Be strict with yourself. If you think about it in this way, what is going to happen is you are not going to slack for 1 minute. You won't spend your time on the office room gossip or anything that is non-productive. During the day, you are going to watch out for anything that is non-productive, and automatically that is going to be a good thing for you. This is a positive for you. Even the way when you are in a party, you are not going to be like everybody else. You are going to be having an aura that is so much different. Everyone else will be slacking, slouching, doing things that are not right. Maybe they are not, it's not presentable. You will never do that because you will have this thinking that, oh, what is going to happen? This is not going to be good. Keep yourself, be strict with yourself. If you don't, what is going to happen is, I will guarantee it, you are lazy. This is something that is inbuilt to all humans. Your will is lazy. Automatically you will start slacking. You will start having these problems. If you don't be strict with yourself, your will is going to take you places you never thought you're going to go. So don't do that. Don't ever do that. Always focus on this and always take your time for this. So be strict with yourself. Be strict. That is an order. So next point which I want to say is build mental toughness. There is so much happening now that is totally weird to me. People are really weak. People act as they're weak. Oh, that guy said something to me, I'm hurt. Oh, this happened, that girl said something to me, I'm hurt. Or, this person said something behind my back, I'm hurt. All these kind of things. You have to build mental toughness. It is a tough world out there, especially if you are going against the flow. What we are trying to do is we are taking control of our life and trying to build a life of our own that we want. Automatically, you are going to face this problem. Many people are going to judge you. Many people are trying to stop you. Many people are trying to go against you because they see their own failures when you try to achieve these things. There are so many people who will try to bring you down. You have to build mental toughness. You have to be mentally tough. Even if your spouse, even if anybody close to you says something, it shouldn't break you. You should be hard enough, tough enough to take all these things. If you're not, you have to build that. You have to build this mental toughness, otherwise you are not going to be able to create the life you deserve. Step number 7. After this, what you're going to do is control your influences. This is very important. So many people get influenced by TV, your random person on YouTube, random person who is walking by on the street, any person who is not trying to give you your goodwill or is not a well-wisher, any person you are using everybody as an influencer, and that is causing problems. What you have to understand is all of these people, you have to be very careful who you get influence from. Create a filter. I always have a filter around me of who is influencing me, even for my family, because they might not understand what I'm trying to achieve. I guard myself in that way. So if somebody tells me something, I'll just take it from one ear and it goes out the other. I don't care about it. I have very selected people who I take influence from, my mentors, and that also I take with a grain of salt, because sometimes there will be a person you might not expect it, but that person might not be understanding what you're trying to achieve. So be very careful of who is trying to influence you. Control your influences. This is very much important because many people fail on this, and even though you're trying to design a life you deserve, automatically what will happen is people will they'll stop, because some influencer in their life said, oh, you're working too hard, you don't need to work so hard, man, come on, take a leave, take a vacation. Automatically you are taking influence from them and your goal goes sideways. That shouldn't happen to you. The next thing that you have to understand is focus on essentials. You have to understand that you have to focus on essentials in your life. Now, this is not minimalistic thinking. I'm not saying that you sell everything and just sit on a couch and have a minimalist life. No, that's not exactly what I'm trying to say. But you have to understand that everything in your life is not important. There will be so many things in your life, but only few things that are essential to your success, to your goals, to create that life that you deserve. This includes people. There are only very few people in your life who are at that level, who are essential to you. Rest, everyone is extra. There are very few things that are essential for you. Rest, everything is extra. Focus on this one thing. Understand that you have to have this. Focusing on essentials is very important, very much important, because if you don't do this, what is going to happen is you are going to be taken down by any kind of materials or anything that is gone from your life. You are going to stop and think about it. That shouldn't be the case. All of these things shouldn't stop you. These things will come and go. There are so many things in your life that will come and go, but they are not essential for your goal. Only focus on those things that are essential for your goals. That is important to you. Now, finally, let's come to the exercise. You are ready to design the life that you want. So this is a very simple exercise. You have to understand is, I have actually set up different sectors in your life. All life sectors you will find. These are the life sectors that you're focusing on. This is going to focus on a generic, not a generic, but it will actually carry forward to everybody. Everybody will understand this. So let's call these sectors of your life. Arrange these sectors in order of importance in your life. This has to be personal to you. No copying the person on the right or the left. This has to be essential, important to you. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you read this out, or you're not going to be sharing this with anyone. This is personal to you. So no judging, nothing is going to happen. You just have to write these things according to your importance. What is important to me? First, what comes important to me? Second, what comes important to me in my life? Third, what comes important to me in my life? You're going to arrange this. So the categories are work slash career slash business. That is one. So work, career, business, entrepreneurship, all of these things, that is going to be one. The next category is relationships, marriage, family. You can even put friendship in that if that is important to you. So all of those kind of things, you're going to put it in the category 2. Category 3 is money, monetary success. Monetary success or anything material that you're trying to achieve, that is going to be category 3. Category 4 is success with recognition, awards, etc. So anything that has to be doing with recognition by others, those kind of things you are going to be putting into this. Category 5 is success that helps others, philanthropy. So if you have social work, philanthropy, all these kind of things, you're going to put category 5. Category 6 is success of leaving a legacy, material or non-material, for you or your loved ones or for everybody. It can be for others, it can be for everyone, it can be for your loved ones, but leaving a legacy. And the last category is spirituality, workout, or self-reflection. Some of you like yoga or things like that. Some of you like to work out. Some of you are spiritual. You want to go to your churches, temples, all of these things. How important is it to you? So these are the categories. You are going to arrange all of this. So first category, first thing I like, first thing that is most important to me is my business, entrepreneurship, work. If that is your case, that no, first thing, my most important thing is relationships, marriage. If that is you, then you're going to put that first. If the most important thing for me is money, I'm going to put money, monetary success as one. You're going to arrange all of this in order of importance for you. So I'm giving you time for this. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Is that okay, Sunil? Yep. So 5 minutes I'm going to give to everybody. You're going to write this down and be ready for it. This exercise is not over. You're going to do this right now. 5 minutes, the time starts now. Okay, so I believe everyone is done, or most of you are done, I think. So whatever you want is, like category 1. Is everybody done? Raise your hands up, everybody who is done. Okay, so yes, okay. So since this is done, now what you have to understand is whatever is the number 1 on your list, that is your first priority in your life. This is very important to you, obviously, but yes, I'm getting that. Yeah, so this is very important to you. The first thing that you have to understand is this is one of the primary things on your goal. The 1, 2, and 3, whatever is 1, 2, and 3 on this list, that will make for your life goal. All of these together is going to constitute to your life goal. Okay. Now, what you're going to do after this is you are going to write down goals for each sector. So sector 1, if suppose it is work, career, business, entrepreneurship, if that is my sector 1, first priority in my life, I am going to write down 2 goals for that. So sector 1, 2, and 3, you are going to write down 2 goals each. You're going to do that for all of the sectors. Sector 5, 6, 7. These 3 sectors can have 1 goal each. If you cannot come up with 2 goals, you can have 1 goals for the sector 5, 6, 7, because those are low priorities in your life. But the rest of the sectors, 1, 2, 4, you have to write down 2 goals each for each sector. So I'm again going to give you 5 minutes for this. Write down the goals for each sector, and okay, so go ahead and write down your goals. Your time starts right now, so 5 more minutes and you are going to be done with this exercise, and I'll tell you what you have to understand from the exercise and we'll come into that. So take 5 minutes, write down your goals for each sector. 7 sectors, it will hardly take you 5 minutes, so go ahead, quickly do this and we will carry forward with the seminar. Okay. Okay, so I believe everybody is done. If you're not, you can go home and do it. But you can understand that because we are pressed for time, so I cannot give more time. And you can see Sunil is already sweating there. So let's go ahead with this. Now, what you have to understand is sector 1, 2, and 3. That is going to together. All of that is going to make your life goal. This is something that is important to you. This is something that you are to achieve to be fulfilled in life. This is your life goal. So you have to achieve this. Whatever is your life goal in these 3 sectors, 1, 2, and 3, that is important to you, you have to do that. And the next thing you have to understand is sectors 4, 5 are less important, but they are still a priority to you. Sectors 6 and 7 are the least important, but something you have to do so that you can be happy. So if you can do all these goals, you will be really happy. What you have to understand is these goals keep on changing. You have to constantly re-evaluate these goals. Your sectors won't change. Your sector priority won't change. That is going to be constant throughout your life. Mostly it doesn't change. Maybe in a decade it will, but at least for a decade it won't change. Your sector priority doesn't change. Life events can change it, but it's very rare. It takes a long time for it to change. Your goals in each sector, that can change. So whatever is your goal in sector 1 or 2, those can change. Generally they don't. 1, 2, and 3, unless you have achieved it, then you come up with the next goal. The rest of the sectors, they can change here and there. It is possible because life is that way. Life is volatile, so they keep on changing. Now, if you're married or if you have a girlfriend or whatever, so if you have a spouse, what you can do is you can try to see if they're okay with it. You can do this exercise with them and you can share what your priorities in life are. This will actually make you understand how their thinking is or what they want from life. And if you can find someone who is exactly having the same priorities, like 1 to 7 they align, or at least 1 to 3 they align, then that's good. But generally what I've seen is they never align. This exercise you do, because opposites attract, I think. Generally you will not find these things aligning. You will have somewhat similar, but I've never seen this align. Only once I've seen this align like perfectly. So that's what you have to understand. Now, this will actually, why I said that you might want to just check with your spouse on this, is because it will make you understand where they're coming from, what they are trying to do with their life, or try to understand them better about their direction in life. Because you will understand more better why they are trying to do what they're trying to do because of their goal priorities. Now, I'm going to give you a pro tip, a perfect tip that is going to give you a special edge, and many people, only the most successful, the most affluent people in the world know this. When you write your goals, and this is actually to train you subconsciously to get to your goals. Never write your goals as in I want to do this. That says a point of lack. That says that you are lacking. For example, I want to be healthy. What that says to your subconscious is you are not healthy. That is why you want to be healthy. It comes from a point of need. It comes from a point of lack. Whereas if you write it as if you have already achieved it, it comes from a point of abundance. So even though my goal is I want to achieve a healthy body, I'll write it, I have a healthy body. So word your goals as though you have already achieved it. For example, if my goal is to be the number one company in such and such sector in this country, what I will write is I am the number one company in this sector. So you're going to write down the goals in such a way that you have already achieved them. Always do this, because that will train your subconscious to a point of abundance. Goals have to come from a point of abundance, never from a point of lack. So you will have to do this exercise again. No, you won't have to do the entire exercise, but you will have to rewrite your goals, and you are going to do that. Now, how this is going to change your life? You have already figured out what you want from life from these 7 sectors and all these goals that you have written right now. If you have written down 2 goals each, you have 14 goals on your pad right now. These 14 goals you are going to, it's the way you're going to do it is, this is going to design the life. This is the life design that you deserve. This is what you want from your life, and this is what you are going to do in your life. This is what you want to do in your life. This came from you. It didn't come from me. This is something you have derived on your own. This is personal to you. So how you're going to achieve this is you are going to write down these goals for the next 7 days every day. You are going to write down these goals for the next 7 days every day, and then after that once a week, every Saturday or Sunday or whenever you get time, one day you are going to select. You have to stick to it, stick to that habit, and you are going to write down these goals again and again in your diary. Repetition is the way to get these things into your head, so you have to do that. So first you're going to do continuously 7 days, like a doctor's medicine. You're going to do that, and after that you're going to do once a week. That will actually, you will see it happening. You will see the change happening in your life, because now you have figured out what you want to do. You're going to see the direction change in your life. Automatically you will see that, oh, I want to do this, I want to get this done, and you'll automatically, have this kind of change happening. Your life, because your subconscious controls so much of your life, it's actually going to change the path in your life. As we're running out of time, we're going to end it right now, and we'll continue in the next session after lunch, because lunch time is already here. So let's continue this after lunch, and I know most of you have some doubts. We'll actually clear all of that in the next session, and then I'll give you some more tips on how you have to go forward with these things. This is just the first step. You have understood what you want in life. Now I'm going to give you tips on how you can achieve these goals, the achievement of the goals, and how you can get closer to the goals. You're going to go deep into that in the next session, and in the evening session also. So let's go ahead for that. So for now, I think the organizers will come ahead and they will actually go further. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for this time, and thank you for the organizers again. Thank you for the audience. Thank you to the audience for patiently listening to me for so long, and thank you everybody. I'll see you in the next session. This has been Gage.